My research interests actually are the assessment or evaluation of retail marketing policies that address socioeconomic disparities in tobacco use. Now, what does that mean? Tobacco use varies across population, and a lot of it comes from targeted marketing by the tobacco industry. So you have low-income communities, minority communities, in some instances, women, children use more tobacco relative to their other groups. That's men, high-income communities, and non-Hispanic white population. And that's because these communities that heavily use tobacco most times are targeted by tobacco industry in terms of coupons, discounts, advertisements, marketing, sponsorship, all forms of exposure to tobacco advertising. So the policies that keep coming up to try to address this exposure to tobacco marketing, and I'm really interested in looking at these policies and seeing how effective they are. Where are the gaps that remain in these policies? How can we close the gaps? How are these policies working in this location and they're not working in this location? What are the differences? What are the similarities? What policies are here that we can transfer to this place? Maybe they could work, maybe they don't. So that's kind of where my interest lies, to see how we can close that gap of tobacco use between mostly disadvantaged communities relative to the other groups. And most of my, a lot of my interest in tobacco research policies comes from my education now background. I have a BSc in human physiology, and then right after, some years after actually, I went for a master's in public health administration. While I was doing my master's, I happened to intern at the World Health Organization, and that's where I came in contact with tobacco research. I worked with some experts in the tobacco field who were not only doing research in the office, so I had to do some research in the office, but we also took that research outside, and we had regular meetings with policymakers trying to explain the results that we had and how this will benefit the different communities we were trying to make changes in, mostly low-income communities. And that's where my interest in tobacco research came from, and I decided to well that by going for a doctoral program in public policy. And throughout my program, I focused on tobacco, and my dissertation was the assessment of retail compliance with tobacco marketing. So how well were the retailers complying with tobacco advertising policies on a local level in the state of Massachusetts? So for people coming into tobacco regulatory science, I would like to say welcome. It's a very big field. It's very interesting. What I would advise is that it's really big. A lot has been done, but there's still so much more to be done. And I would like to advise that when you come in, find your space, find your niche. There's a lot. There's a lot of space, but there's also that place that needs your skill. So find your place and stay there, become an expert there, because you don't have to know every single thing, but that one that you are doing, just be very good in it, because that contribution means a lot to the whole body of tobacco. And I also say that you should be pretty flexible, because the tobacco research is constantly evolving, because there's always a new policy that needs to be assessed. There's a new modeling that we need to figure out with some new information. There's a new tobacco product. There's a new epidemic, one thing or the other. It's so always be flexible, be willing to adapt, be willing to change. And the most important for me is that know that whatever research you're doing, which can also apply to you, know that you're actually helping real people. It's not just about the numbers that you're seeing on the paper. These are real people that we can change their lives by improving public health in their communities and as a whole. So thank you.